Soon, a unique event is set to unfold within the royal family due to the arrival of a new member. Princess Beatrice, who has faced numerous personal challenges and losses over her lifetime, is expecting a child, drawing global media and public attention once again. Recent announcements from Buckingham Palace have left royal enthusiasts and the public in awe. The child of Princess Beatrice will receive a title that is unprecedented in British royal history. Slated for arrival in early spring 2025, this child will not hold a title from British royal ancestry but instead from a foreign nation with no ties to the British monarchy. Traditionally, British royal titles adhere to rigid guidelines that have been in place for centuries. Historically, Princess Beatrice's child would not qualify for a British royal title. However, due to the ancestral lineage of her husband, Edoardo Mapelli-Mazzi, the child will inherit an aristocratic title from Italy. This recent development has sparked discussions about the intersection of British and Italian customs in the context of a modern royal family, representing an intriguing fusion of cultural heritage and progressive royal practices. Experts anticipate that this could challenge long-standing royal traditions. According to the protocols instituted by King George V in 1917, only children and male-line grandchildren of a reigning monarch are entitled to the titles of prince or princess. This regulation primarily affects the offspring of female royals who marry outside the monarchy. As a result, Princess Beatrice's children do not meet the criteria for British royal titles, as they are great-nieces and nephews of the current monarch, King Charles III, and not direct grandchildren. This rule's impact becomes clear when contrasting Princess Beatrice's situation with some of her cousins. For example, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, secured royal titles in 2023 due to their direct lineage to the monarch through their grandfather, King Charles III. Conversely, Princess Beatrice's children are a generation removed from this direct royal succession line. Although connected to the British crown, they are not positioned to inherit royal titles through the female line of descent. Moreover, the absence of a British title for Beatrice's offspring is also attributed to her marriage to Edoardo Mapelli-Mazzi, who was not granted a British title. Unlike men who marry into the royal family, Edoardo's Italian noble heritage does not impact the British hierarchical structure, which follows separate traditions. Princess Beatrice's circumstances are similar to those of other royals who, either by circumstance or personal choice, do not bear British royal titles. For instance, her sister, Princess Eugenie, opted not to have titles for her children. Princess Eugenie's sons, August and Ernest, are also ineligible for British royal titles, being great-grandchildren of Queen Elizabeth II. This indicates a shift in the royal family's approach, as both Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie strive to balance their public roles with private family life. Their decision reflects a broader trend among young royals, who increasingly seek to preserve their royal connections while enjoying greater autonomy. Consequently, Beatrice and Edoardo's children will maintain links to the British monarchy, but without the traditional titles and associated formalities. This adaptability enables Princess Beatrice and her family to maintain relatively private lives, a crucial factor for those constantly in the spotlight. The rule that restricts royal titles to male-line descendants is not exclusive to the British royal family. Many European aristocracies and monarchies practice similar customs. Titles are often passed down through the male lineage, leaving female descendants and their offspring outside the conventional aristocratic ranks. This traditionalist approach exemplifies a broader cultural value within the British monarchy, emphasizing heritage over modern adaptation. Although some may consider this approach antiquated, it plays a crucial role in distinguishing between direct heirs and extended family members within the royal structure. While British rules prevent Princess Beatrice's child from obtaining a British royal title, an intriguing alternative arises from Edoardo Mapelli-Mazzi's Italian lineage. Being the son of Count Alessandro Mapelli-Mazzi, Edoardo brings an unexpected twist to the narrative. The title that Princess Beatrice's child will inherit originates from Edoardo's Italian nobility rather than the British monarchy. In Italy, titles such as Count or Nobile Donna meaning noble lady, are typically inherited through the male line, thereby preserving aristocratic customs even after Italy stopped officially recognizing nobility in 1948. As the male heir of the Mapelli-Mazzi family, Edoardo bears the courtesy title of Count, allowing his children to inherit the same. Therefore, the new baby will either be titled Count if a boy or Nobildonna if a girl. This title embodies more than mere symbolism. It represents a cultural and historical heritage that links the child to Italian nobility and the enduring traditions of the Mapelli-Mazzi family. Edoardo's noble title also establishes a connection to Villa Mapelli-Mazzi, an 18th-century palazzo located in Castelnuovo, northern Italy. This estate, which has been owned by the family for generations, stands as a magnificent property with 13 bedrooms and expansive gardens, showcasing the family's noble heritage. When Edoardo inherits the villa, it will become an integral part of the family's past and future, providing Princess Beatrice's children with a tangible connection to their Italian heritage and a rare experience of life in aristocracy. Distinct from the British monarchy, the historical and architectural significance of the villa also enhances Edoardo's title and that of his children, illustrating the ongoing influence of European nobility on family heritage in modern times, and nurturing cultural ties that stretch beyond national borders. For Beatrice's child, being linked to both British and Italian aristocracy offers a broader perspective on European cultural traditions and the fusion of noble heritages. Despite Italy no longer officially recognizing noble titles, families like the Mapelli-Mazzis continue to uphold these titles culturally. Within Italian aristocratic circles, titles like Count or Contessa for noble women remain celebrated symbols of honor and heritage. For Princess Beatrice's child, holding a courtesy title from Italy adds complexity to their identity by connecting them to both the contemporary British monarchy and an ancient Italian aristocratic legacy. This integration of noble heritages is reflective of modern European royal families, who often marry across national borders and merge diverse cultural lineages. It is not uncommon to see members of various European royal and noble families embracing their royal responsibilities alongside deeply rooted family traditions from their aristocratic backgrounds. This unique combination of British and Italian titles within Princess Beatrice's family highlights the changing landscape of nobility in Europe, where cultural traditions continue to hold significance despite the waning formal recognition. The revelation that Princess Beatrice's child will bear an Italian title, rather than a British one, has captivated royal enthusiasts and sparked widespread social media discussion. Public reaction has largely focused on the novelty of merging two noble traditions, British royalty and Italian aristocracy. While some see this as a modernizing stride for the royal family, others are intrigued by what this title signifies for the British monarchy and the child's position within it. For many royal followers, this unusual title serves as a delightful reminder of the increasing diversity within European nobility. The British royal family has undergone a gradual transformation over the years, incorporating international marriages and modern family dynamics that reflect global influences. Princess Beatrice's child, carrying a title from Italian aristocracy, embodies a blend of heritage that is uncommon within the royal family. This cross-cultural element also appeals to those who value the increasingly global connections within royal circles, a trend also observed in other European monarchies that frequently intermarry across national and cultural boundaries. The decision for Beatrice's child to hold an Italian title, rather than a British one, also underscores the role of tradition within the monarchy. Royal observers have noted that although the British monarchy has rigorous rules governing titles and succession, these protocols are increasingly intersecting with contemporary realities where royals possess personal and familial connections beyond the United Kingdom. Princess Beatrice and Edoardo's choice to embrace Edoardo's Italian heritage exemplifies how royal traditions are evolving to accommodate the diverse backgrounds of royal spouses. This development mirrors a broader trend within the royal family. Other members, like Princess's children who also do not have British titles, showcase how the monarchy allows flexibility concerning titles and public roles. For Princess Beatrice's family, this flexibility offers their children a connection to royalty while granting them a more private lifestyle, free from the typical pressures of formal royal titles. Across Europe, noble and royal families are gradually incorporating cultural diversity within their lineages, enriching their historical roles. Princess Beatrice's marriage to Edoardo Mapelli-Mazzi is among the many recent cross-cultural unions that bring together unique customs, titles, and values from different aristocratic traditions. This trend of blending European nobility epitomizes a modern shift where titles and heritage are respected yet adapted to fit personal family dynamics. The public's fascination with Beatrice's family lies in how these titles intertwine with her identity as a British royal. By holding an Italian title, her child will partake in a noble tradition that is distinct from British royal duties. This status also provides a degree of independence. Unlike their counterparts within the British Crown, Edoardo and Beatrice's children may face less media scrutiny and fewer public obligations, allowing them the privilege of a life with reduced formal responsibilities. The arrival of Princess Beatrice's second child is also set to alter the British royal line of succession, with the newborn taking the 11th position, thereby shifting other family members further down the line. With each new addition to the royal family, the line of succession shifts, and the birth of Princess Beatrice's child will affect the standings of her sister, Princess Eugenie, and her nephews, August and Ernest Brooksbank, moving them to the 12th, 13th, and 14th positions, respectively. This ongoing shift in succession underscores the continued importance of extended family members within the royal lineage, even as they move further from the immediate crown. Although Beatrice's children are unlikely to hold formal roles in the British royal family, their presence in the line of succession keeps them connected to the monarchy. Being in line for the throne allows them to remain part of British royal history, even as they grow with an Italian noble title and heritage. As the 14th great-grandchild of the late Queen Elizabeth II, this new addition is only the second born since the Queen's passing, following Ernest Brooksbank's birth in 2023. This ongoing legacy preserves the extended family's link to the historical lineage of the British Crown, blending tradition with modern influences. Princess Beatrice and Edoardo Mapelli-Mazzi have chosen a life that emphasizes privacy compared to other royals, focusing on family and career while occasionally partaking in public events. Beatrice works as Vice President of Partnerships and Strategy at a technology company, while Edoardo, a successful property developer, runs Bond Property. Their professional pursuits enable them to balance family responsibilities with a public presence, without the constant expectations of royal duties. The family often divides their time between their London apartment at St. James's Palace and their countryside home in the Cotswolds. This lifestyle illustrates a modern approach within the royal family, where Beatrice and Edoardo prioritize personal privacy but also participate in public activities, from charity events to royal gatherings. Their decision to raise their children without British royal titles, yet with the honor of an Italian noble title, offers them the best of both worlds, a connection to royalty without the attached obligations. Princess Beatrice and Edoardo's children, who inherit both British royal and Italian aristocratic heritage, provide a modern example of how traditional titles and cultural legacies can intersect in unexpected ways. Their unique identity fuses the royal prestige of British heritage with the noble traditions of Italy, reflecting a growing trend of multicultural influences in European nobility. As British and Italian traditions coexist within their family, these children embody a blend of European nobility that honors and adapts to modern family structures. This multicultural legacy also presents choices for Beatrice and Edoardo as they navigate raising their children within two distinct aristocratic worlds. While British royal traditions are deeply rooted in public service, official duties, and media scrutiny, Italian noble customs allow for a more private existence, as Italy no longer formally recognizes noble titles and associated governmental roles. For Beatrice's children, this means growing up with the advantages and history of both worlds, offering a more flexible upbringing compared to other royal children who are bound by stricter public expectations. This blending of cultures and titles is part of a broader trend seen across European royal families, who frequently intermarry, creating lineages that encompass various cultural and national backgrounds. For example, the Danish and Greek royal families share similar multicultural traits, demonstrating the increasingly interconnected nature of Europe's modern aristocracy. Similar blending of cultures has been observed in other European royal families, where members have married into different noble or royal lineages, enriching their heritage and cultural traditions. These unions reflect how modern European royalty often balances national traditions with a shared historical narrative across monarchies. For instance, the Swedish royal family, which includes Crown Princess Victoria's husband Prince Daniel, who hails from a non-aristocratic background, demonstrates how royal families are modernizing by welcoming members with fresh perspectives and traditions. This approach helps make the institution more relatable to a globalized audience while maintaining respect for long-standing traditions. In a similar vein, Princess Beatrice's decision to honor Edoardo's Italian title for their children reflects a broader acceptance of diverse cultural legacies within the royal sphere. The public is captivated by how these varied backgrounds influence the lives and identities of royal offspring. With both British and Italian titles, Beatrice's children join a growing roster of royals who embody the convergence of multiple heritages. Many royal observers see this as a step toward a more inclusive image of royalty, with titles and traditions evolving to align with the realities of modern family dynamics. Integrating an Italian title, which respects Edoardo's aristocratic heritage, allows Beatrice's family to maintain ties to their British royal roots as well as their Italian noble lineage. This blending of traditions is viewed by some as a positive evolution, while others regard it as a potential challenge to the rigid boundaries historically defining the British monarchy. Nevertheless, for Princess Beatrice and Edoardo's children, the fusion of British and Italian heritage grants them a distinct identity that honors two rich cultural backgrounds. This situation reflects a broader trend within European nobility, where traditional aristocratic titles, once tightly bound by rigid hierarchies, are now being adapted to accommodate modern lifestyles and expectations. European aristocracy, previously characterized by strict formality, is increasingly integrating contemporary ideals of privacy, personal autonomy, and global citizenship. In Italy, where noble titles are primarily symbolic, families like the Mazzis preserve their titles as part of family heritage rather than official status, honoring their lineage without the public service obligations common in the British monarchy. Other European royal and noble families are making similar adjustments. For instance, the Dutch royal family grants fewer titles to younger members, as seen in King Willem-Alexander's children. Similarly, the Danish royal family, under Queen Margrethe II, has recently streamlined the titles of her grandchildren to simplify their royal duties and allow for private career pursuits. This evolving perspective resonates with Beatrice and Edoardo's decision, where an Italian title enriches their children's heritage without binding them to obligations typically associated with British nobility. Titles like Count or Nobile Donna carry cultural significance and are often cherished as symbols of family history rather than pathways to power or political influence. This understanding enables families to pass down titles with a focus on personal identity, family legacy, and cultural pride rather than public duty. In Beatrice's family, the Italian title will likely serve as a heritage marker, linking her children to the long-standing traditions of the Mazzi lineage, including its estates and ancestral roots. For the public, viewing titles as cultural markers rather than emblems of power makes nobility more relatable and less hierarchical. This alignment with current expectations values heritage while promoting personal freedom, and many view this evolution positively. It recognizes that titles can honor family legacies without imposing traditional constraints, an approach that Princess Beatrice and Edoardo seem to endorse for their children. By doing so, the family's Italian title deepens their connection to both British and Italian cultures, embodying a modern, adaptable approach to noble identity that appeals to the evolving interests of royal followers worldwide. The Mazzi family, to which Edoardo belongs, boasts a lineage that extends back several centuries, rooted in Italy's Lombardy region. This noble title, handed down through generations, ties Edoardo and his children to a history rich in Italian aristocratic traditions. The The Mazzis held influence in northern Italy, particularly around Milan, where their ancestral estate, Villa Mazzi, still stands as a testament to the family's heritage. This 18th century villa, with its elegant architecture and vast grounds, not only signifies Italian noble status but also serves as a historical artifact of the family's legacy. For Edoardo's children, this connection to Villa Mazzi and its legacy provides a unique, tangible link to their Italian roots, grounding their identities in both British and Italian aristocracy. Located in Castelnuovo, near Milan, the villa is a significant part of the family's noble legacy. Its historical and architectural value enhances the prestige of Edoardo's title as Count. For Edoardo and his children, the villa represents more than just a residence. It is a symbol of the endurance of their family's traditions and values. Historically, such estates served not only as family homes but also as centers of influence, where Italian nobles upheld social and cultural responsibilities. As the future heir to this villa, Edoardo is entrusted with the preservation of its historical value, and his children will grow up with an appreciation for both the aesthetic and historical significance of this ancestral home. Villa Mazzi has hosted generations of the family, encapsulating Italian architectural beauty with features like frescoed ceilings, intricate moldings, and vast gardens. For Edoardo's children, this environment offers a sense of identity rooted in both place and history, complementing the cultural weight of their Italian noble title. In Italy, official state recognition of noble titles ended in 1948, but many families, like the Mazzis, continue to uphold them privately as marks of heritage and family pride. Despite the abolition of noble recognition, these titles are celebrated within families and noble circles, maintaining a sense of cultural continuity. Today, these titles are symbols rather than designations of authority, enabling families like the Mazzis to cherish their heritage independently of the political power once linked to nobility. This preservation of titles is consistent with European trends, where families maintain cultural significance through estates and historical landmarks. The upkeep of Villa Mazzi, along with the family's adherence to their traditional title, reflects an appreciation for Italy's aristocratic past. Even as these titles assume new meanings in the modern era, the decision by Edoardo and Beatrice to pass on the title underscores their dedication to preserving noble customs, enriching their children's identities with historical depth while adapting to contemporary life realities. The inheritance of the Mazzi title and estate holds historical as well as symbolic importance, connecting the past with the evolving present. The significance of preserving Italian aristocratic heritage through Edoardo and his children is underscored in European aristocratic circles, where the transfer of titles and estates to new generations represents a commitment to maintaining family legacy, traditions, and cultural heritage. For Edoardo's family, this means that his children with Princess Beatrice will inherit the esteemed titles of Count or Nobildonna, anchoring them in the deeply rooted customs of Italian nobility. The inheritance of Villa Mazzi further solidifies this connection, as properties like the villa serve as tangible manifestations of family history, embodying centuries of heritage and offering significant cultural and architectural value. As future custodians of the estate, Edoardo and his children will play a pivotal role in maintaining the villa's legacy. This duty involves not only the upkeep of the property, but also the preservation of its historical importance and cultural relevance. This link to their Italian heritage offers Edoardo and Beatrice's children a unique connection to the past, distinguishing them from their British royal cousins whose heritage is predominantly rooted in the United Kingdom. The modern approach to titles and estates within European aristocracy allows noble families to adapt to contemporary expectations while respecting traditional roles. For the Mazzi family, this means that although Edoardo's children will inherit the title of Count or Nobildonna, they aren't confined by the formal responsibilities that once came with aristocratic titles. Italy's post-World War II abolition of official noble recognition has enabled families to view titles as cultural symbols rather than authoritative positions, allowing them to retain these designations out of personal and familial pride, rather than as an official duty. This perspective aligns with current trends among European noble families, where estates and titles help maintain cultural identity rather than impose social or political power. For Beatrice and Edoardo, this approach ensures that their children can access their Italian roots and family legacy without the restrictions often associated with formal royal titles. The balance between preserving traditional roles and embracing contemporary family dynamics reflects a broader evolution within aristocratic circles, where heritage is esteemed without the historical rigidity formerly associated with noble titles. The anticipated arrival of Princess Beatrice and Edoardo Mapelli-Mazzi's newest family member represents a fascinating fusion of British and Italian aristocratic heritage, capturing the essence of modern European nobility. Due in early 2025, this child will not bear a British royal title due to long-standing British royal protocols, but will receive the courtesy title of Count or Nobile Donna from the Italian Mapelli-Mazzi lineage. This unique position within both British and Italian aristocracies highlights the evolving nature of traditions within the royal family, as they adapt to the realities of modern family structures while continuing to honor cultural legacies. The Mapelli-Mazzi family's ancestral home, Villa Mapelli-Mazzi, serves as a vital link to this Italian noble heritage, offering Princess Beatrice's children a concrete connection to their Italian roots. As future heirs to the villa, they are set to uphold their family's legacy, balancing the rich history of Italian nobility with the freedoms of contemporary life. The maintenance of Villa Mapelli-Mazzi symbolizes the preservation of noble heritage in a modern context, showcasing how historical estates contribute to family identity and cultural continuity. In an era where European nobility is increasingly merging across national boundaries, the family of Princess Beatrice and Edoardo exemplifies the adaptability and resilience of traditional aristocratic values. This new chapter in their family story underscores a broader transformation within European royal circles, one that cherishes heritage, history, and cultural legacy, while affording families the flexibility to engage with these traditions in ways that best resonate with their personal lives and identities. This approach reflects a modern ethos that values the preservation of heritage without being constrained by the historical rigidity that once defined noble traditions.